The city outside my window used to hum with possibility, a vibrant symphony of dreams. Now it just screams indifference. Tonight, the cold seeps into my bones, a mirror to the dread clutching my chest. This eviction notice, crumpled in my trembling hand, isn't just paper. It's the death certificate of my deepest hope. My studio, my sanctuary, my only true home, is slipping away. I've poured every ounce of myself, every stolen moment of sleep, every dollar, into this place, into this dream of capturing souls through my lens. But who cares? Who even sees me? I feel invisible, a ghost haunting a dream that refuses to die, but can't find the strength to live. This isn't just failure. It's absolute annihilation of everything I am. I remember the early days, the adrenaline of chasing light and shadow through bustling streets, the intoxicating smell of developing chemicals, the thrill of seeing a moment, a raw emotion, frozen forever. My camera felt like an extension of my soul, each click a heartbeat. I'd spend hours curating my gallery wall, imagining the faces that would gaze upon my work, the conversations it would spark. But now, those vibrant memories feel like ghosts, taunting me in this silent, dusty room. The stacks of unpaid bills mock my passion. The frames on the wall stand empty, not awaiting new art, but echoing my own hollowed-out dreams. Every morning, I wake with a fresh wave of panic, a suffocating realization that the dream I fought so hard for is slowly, painfully, bleeding out right before my eyes. Why did I ever think I could make this work? Was it all just naive idealism? Today felt like my last chance, a desperate throw of the dice. I'd been tirelessly preparing a portfolio for a meeting, a potential gallery showcase that could have turned everything around. I pictured it. My work displayed, people connecting with my vision, a lifeline. My heart pounded with a fragile hope as I walked into that sleek, intimidating office. The curator, a woman with an impenetrable gaze, flipped through my carefully selected prints. Her face remained impassive. And then, the words, delivered with a polite, practiced finality. Your work is authentic, but we're looking for something with more commercial appeal right now. Commercial appeal? My art wasn't a product. The air left my lungs. I nodded, mumbled thanks, and walked out, each step feeling like lead. Back in my studio, the weight of that rejection crushed me completely. It wasn't just a no to a gallery. It was a no to my existence, to my belief in myself. I sank to the floor, tears finally erupting, silent sobs shaking my entire body. I was utterly, irrevocably alone. Days blurred into a colorless haze. I barely ate, barely slept, just existed in this suffocating silence. One morning, as I forced myself to leave the studio for a meager coffee, I saw it. A small, intricately folded origami bird, tucked beneath a chipped paint can outside my door. Next to it, a faded, hand-drawn map on a piece of cardboard, detailing directions to the Common Thread Art Collective. My first thought was litter, a child's forgotten toy. I almost kicked it aside. But something in the delicate folds of the paper bird, the care in the tiny map, made me pause. It wasn't random trash. I picked it up, feeling a strange warmth. Who would leave this? I'd often photographed an elderly homeless woman, always sitting quietly across the street, her face etched with stories. Could it be her? A small, almost imperceptible tremor of curiosity, not hope, stirred within me. It wasn't a solution, but it was something. A tiny whisper in the roaring silence. That origami bird sat on my desk, a silent sentinel. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. Days later, feeling the familiar hunger pangs, I dragged myself to the local coffee shop, the one where I always got my cheapest black coffee. The young barista, a quiet guy named Alex, usually just nodded. But today, his eyes held a strange, knowing kindness. I paid, took my coffee, and slunk away, thinking nothing of it. What I didn't know was that Alex, who'd seen me every day, seen the slow fade of my light, had recognized my work from the photo I'd accidentally dropped once. He'd taken one of my uncredited street photos, a powerful shot of a lone musician, and discreetly posted it on a local online community board, attaching a simple, heartfelt message about a struggling artist needing a break. He didn't ask me, he didn't tell me. It was an act of pure, silent empathy, a gentle nudge from someone who simply saw me hurting. The map, the origami bird, they became a persistent whisper in my mind. On a particularly bleak afternoon, with nothing left to lose, I found myself walking, following the faded pencil lines. The Common Thread Art Collective was an unassuming building, vibrant murals splashed across its brick exterior. My heart hammered. This was a place for artists, for connection, everything I felt I wasn't anymore. Inside, it was bustling, alive with a quiet energy I hadn't felt in years. I hesitated, clutching a single print, the best one I had, and a worn copy of the eviction notice. I approached the elderly curator, a woman with wise, gentle eyes. My voice cracked as I started to explain, not asking for charity, but simply sharing my story, my desperation, my love for photography. It felt like tearing open my chest and exposing my raw, bruised heart. But for the first time in months, I felt heard, not judged. It was terrifying but exhilarating. A tiny crack of light in the darkness. What happened next felt like a slow-motion avalanche of quiet support. The curator, moved by my honesty, offered me a small, temporary corner in their collective to display my work. It wasn't a gallery, not my old studio, but it was a beginning. Then, the community board post started to gain traction. People who'd seen my work online or heard about the struggling street photographer started to appear at the collective. They weren't famous collectors. They were neighbors, students, local shop owners. They didn't offer grand solutions, but their presence, their quiet appreciation, their understanding gazes were everything. Each small, silent gesture, the origami bird, Alex's anonymous post, the curator's belief, the strangers showing up, intertwined, creating a net that caught me before I fell completely. I realized the true big problem wasn't just my studio or my bills. It was the isolation, the belief that I was utterly alone. And these small gestures, born of silent understanding, had fixed that. I still don't have my old studio back, and the road ahead is long, filled with uncertainty. But now it's not a path I walk alone. The silent understanding, the unspoken kindness from strangers and quiet observers, has built a bridge from despair to a new kind of hope. I see the city differently now. It's not just indifferent, but filled with hidden currents of compassion. Small gestures that resonate louder than any grand declaration. My camera feels alive again, not just capturing moments, but finding the quiet, profound connections that truly make us human. This isn't about solving every problem, but about realizing that even the smallest act of empathy can mend a broken spirit, proving that the biggest solutions often come from the most silent understandings.